Hey guys, in this session, I'll show you what we can achieve using JavaScript. Of course, sky's the limit when it comes to JavaScript, especially in these days where you can create anything from a web application to a mobile application using JavaScript. But to just give you the gist of what you can achieve using JavaScript, here are some examples that'll give you an idea on what you can do. So as you can see, all these examples are on JSBin, and I'll be sharing the links and the details so you can play along these examples, and you can actually change things and see what happens. It's pretty cool. So here you can see on the left hand side I have a very basic HTML which has a header, a p tag, and a button. And again, the p tag has an ID, and that's how you can identify a particular element in JavaScript, by identifying it using some kind of a selector, and in this case it's an ID. So button, and then what I say is, on a button, whenever it is click, which is on click an event, get the document, get the element by ID called demo. So this entire document, get the element by ID which is demo. So on this document, get the element which is called demo, and then get the inner HTML and make it hello JavaScript. So whenever I click this, the on click will be called, and this is what the action will be done. So let's try and click and see if this content gets replaced with hello JavaScript. Voila, it does. So that was a very basic example of what you can do with JavaScript. The other fascinating thing that you can do with JavaScript is you can actually replace your images too. Mostly in case, let's say if you have an online or an offline status, you have a special image when the person is online or an offline, you can show content. And of course, many things can be done using style sheets, but you can very easily achieve using JavaScript too. So again, on the left hand side, as you can see, I have a very small HTML which has two buttons and one image. So this image is the default image, which is the off image that you can see. So the bulb is off right now. And then there is a button, again, just the way we had an on click previously. We do have an on click, and here what we say is get the element by ID of my image, and then whenever this button is clicked, replace it with the on bulb. And whenever this button, which is the second button, is clicked, which is the turn off lights, replace the image source with the off button. So let's try and see if this example works for us or no. So let's say turn on the lights, turn off the lights, turn on the lights, turn off the lights. Fantastic, right? And works like a charm. The other good thing I mentioned is this can also be achieved using CSS these days, but you can do many things using CSS. So here's a very small example where you have a particular text, which is the p tag that we had in the first example, and we try to change the font size of that particular paragraph. You can very easily do that. So I don't know if you've seen, this can be very common application where you, on the web pages, you see a small a bigger a, and a bigger a, where you want to change the font size of the entire application. So all you have to do is change the font size of your body tag, and voila, everything should be zoomed in depending on the type of user. Something similar on a very small scale can be seen here. That is, on click of this button, I'll change the font size to 35 pixels, and usually it is 14 pixels for a browser. So let's click this, and you can see that the HTML size has increased. Now, as I mentioned about the HTML and the CSS, there's a very nice feature usually you see on web pages, which is showing a particular section and hiding a particular section depending on what the user selects. It can very easily be achieved using JavaScript and style sheets. So as you can see, I have two buttons where it says hide me and show me. So this paragraph I can hide or show. Again, it has an ID, it's called demo, and then I use the get element by ID. Then I call the style element of the same thing. So again, the style is the same, and you can display an element which is using a block attribute, as well as you can hide an element using none. So all I'm doing is, on click of this button, I change the property of this p tags display to none. On click of this, I want to show it, so I just say block. So let's click this and see what happens. It is hidden, it gets shown. So that was a very basic example on what you can achieve using JavaScript.